Few names carry as much weight in music history as Bob Dylan, a poetic rebel, a Nobel Prize-winning wordsmith, and a voice that reshaped generations. Dylan has never been one to chase headlines, but at 84, he's finally done something fans never expected. He opened up about a long-standing feud that's been brewing quietly behind the scenes for decades. And the target of his disdain? A fellow music legend whose name you probably know, for a man known for his cryptic lyrics and elusive interviews. Dylan's recent remarks took fans by surprise. While he didn't name names right away, his tone was unmistakable. During a rare conversation at a private industry event, Dylan spoke candidly. There's a certain kind of musician I never liked working with. Flash over substance, style over soul. And believe me, there was one who really got under my skin. Fans began speculating immediately. Who could this mystery musician be? Was it someone he toured with, shared a label with, or perhaps even shared the stage with during the famous Live Aid era? Eventually, Dylan let the mask drop and named David Bowie as the artist he clashed with the most. To many, this was shocking. Bowie and Dylan, two icons from different ends of the musical spectrum, had seemingly respected one another from afar. But Dylan's insight painted a much different picture. I never hated him personally, Dylan clarified, but artistically. We were oil and water. He was the chameleon, always changing. Me, I stayed rooted in the truth of what I felt. I didn't need to dress it up in glitter or space suits. It's important to understand the context. Back in the early 1970s, Bowie publicly expressed admiration for Dylan. He even wrote the Song for Bob Dylan as a tribute. But Dylan reportedly saw it as a mockery more than an homage. He didn't appreciate being turned into a character in someone else's narrative, especially when that narrative came from a glam rocker with painted eyes and platform boots. Their paths crossed a few times over the years, but they never collaborated. And now we may know why. Dylan's aversion to overproduction and theatricality is no secret. He's always been about the message, the words, the rawness of the performance. When music becomes too clean, too pretty, too perfect, it loses its soul, Dylan once said in an earlier interview. And in his eyes, Bowie's work, though celebrated worldwide, sometimes crossed that line. Still, Dylan wasn't cruel in his words. There was a measure of respect hidden beneath his criticism. He was good at what he did. It just wasn't for me. Maybe it was jealousy. Maybe it was just two people on completely different paths, he admitted. But I never could stomach the showbiz side of it all. This admission, coming so late in Dylan's life, gives fans a rare glimpse into the fiercely independent mind of a man who shaped rock and folk music. It also adds a layer of humanity to both artists, because even legends have opinions, preferences, and grudges. Interestingly, David Bowie, before his passing in 2016, hinted at the disconnect himself. In an old interview, he was asked about Dylan's lack of response to his tribute song. Bowie smiled and said, "Bob walks his own road. You're either on it, or you're not. So why is Dylan opening up now? Maybe it's age, maybe it's reflection, or maybe it's simply time." At 84, he's lived through more musical revolutions than most of us can name. He's collaborated with the greats, turned down even greater offers, and stood by his principles no matter how unpopular they were. And perhaps, in looking back, he felt the need to clear the air, even if just a little. This revelation doesn't diminish the legacies of either man. If anything, it makes them more real. Two visionaries who saw the world differently, who shaped culture from different corners of the stage. Dylan's honesty might ruffle a few feathers, but that's always been part of his charm. Unfiltered, unapologetic, unforgettable. And whether you agree with him or not, one thing is certain: Bob Dylan's words still make people stop and listen even after all these years.